Hello and welcome to COVID-19 Local Impact. I'm Dan Malta from the Your TV Peterborough studios. We'll begin today's broadcast with a quick look at the COVID-19 numbers from the region. In Peterborough City and County and Hiawatha and Curve Lake First Nations, 53 confirmed positive cases, 1,184 confirmed negative, 233 currently under investigation, 1 death and 29 resolved cases. I should note those 29 resolved cases come from that 53 count of positive cases in the area. In the city of Kawartha Lakes, 109 positive cases, 6 hospitalizations, 33 deaths, 29 of those deaths from the 1 confirmed outbreak in Bobcaygeon. In Northumberland, 14 cases and 1 hospitalization. Peterborough Regional Health Centre is asking community members to contact the COVID-19 Assessment Centre at 705-876-5086 if they are experiencing any of the following symptoms of respiratory illness, even if mild: fever, chills or cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, runny nose, nasal congestion, difficulty swallowing, unexplained fatigue, unexplained headache, joint or muscle aches, loss of taste or smell. If your symptoms are severe, call 911 and alert the dispatcher to your travel history and symptoms. The COVID-19 Assessment Center phone line is staffed from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Assessments are available by appointment only, and patients should attend the assessment center only as directed after calling the phone number provided. Visitors are not permitted in the COVID-19 Assessment Center. Peterborough Police have received calls and complaints from residents and businesses in the West End. Complaints are ranging from break-ins, loitering, property damage, and drug litter in the area of Breeley Drive, St. Joseph's of Fleming, and Lansdowne Street West. Mayor Diane Tarian says the police are stepping up their presence to address these concerns.
We have had some concerns from businesses and residents about some mischief and some behavior, antisocial behavior that's happening as a result of that. And so we've taken those concerns very seriously, and the police are working with, staff at the shelter to identify certain individuals, as well as the business and residents that are, that have experienced, if it's, car break-ins, that kind of thing, to make sure that they're able to step up those patrols and keep an eye out. They're not necessarily normally in all those neighborhoods. So that's something that they're working on.
Stepping up the police patrol, obviously one way of handling it. Is there anything else that the city is going to be doing specifically at the Sports and Wellness Center?
Well, I mean, it's run by the shelter, like by the Brock Mission. And so, the programming that they've previously run in their other space, they're still offering. It's tricky too, though, because, with the physical distancing that we're, trying to ask people to do, that really limits the amount of activities that folks can do. And, ultimately it's also not a city responsibility to entertain folks. So I know that it's, not ideal. And so that's sort of why people, I think, are, going out and exploring the neighborhoods. And so, again, we're working with the police to make sure that folks are being respectful and are staying out of trouble. And those troublemakers that, that aren't doing that, the police are dealing with them. And again, it's folks that aren't, unfamiliar with that system.
With warmer temperatures, the Kawarthas have seen an influx of visitors. Your TV's Mary Tendachat asked Peterborough-Kawartha MPP Dave Smith whether the province will be stepping up measures to slow down or stop seasonal traffic.
So let me start by saying we love our seasonal residents. We want to make sure that they feel welcome, but we want to make sure that they are healthy and they're able to come and enjoy the Kawarthas when the time is right. The time is not right now. We need to be self-isolating. We need to be staying at home. If you stay at home, you're not spreading the disease. The disease travels with people. The province doesn't have a tool in its toolbox to outlaw people going to their seasonal residences. So we're relying on people to recognize that the virus travels with people. It doesn't move on its own. And if you stay home, you're not allowing the virus to travel. I can't emphasize it enough. you have to stay home.
They were giving out fines for up to $750,000 for people who were going to their trailers, that sort of thing. So they do have it in their toolbox, do they not?
We have it in our toolbox to say to the parks, or trailer parks, for example, that you can't open. The problem that you have is with cottagers, for example, they actually own that property. They own the cottage itself. And you're down a really, really slippery slope if you want a government to say, you can't go to a piece of property that you own. That doesn't exist within provincial powers. That's something that the federal government would have to implement. The federal government does have powers to do something like that. The province doesn't.
Is it time for Canada to enact the Quarantine Act, forcing people to stay home? Haliburton-Kawartha Lakes Brock MP Jamie Schmale says the federal government has the power to order people indoors if necessary.
The Quarantine Act basically gives the federal government a lot of power that it doesn't already have outside of its regular duties. It would basically give it the ability to lock people down, if you will, to impose massive fines and penalties for those that defy that. And what would trigger that? I think at this point, it would trigger a massive failure in the provincial system. And at this point, we are not there yet. We have the province of Quebec, which has over half of the COVID-19 confirmed cases in Canada. They have asked for some help in that the military, they're asking for some assistance there. But at this point, the Atlantic provinces have kept their numbers low. We're seeing a flattening of the curve in Alberta. Saskatchewan, their numbers are low. BC is doing well. Ontario seems to be holding steady. So I don't think there is a need for the federal government to come in at this point. The provinces are responsible for delivering all of the services that you receive, such as healthcare and education, that type of thing, and they should be responsible for that, not Ottawa imposing a lockdown or their views on certain provinces or territories. So the situation of cottagers coming up to their property, I totally get it. I understand why they would not want to be stacked and packed in the city. They need to do the majority of their shopping in the city. The goal is, don't come to your cottage and then walk around town and be involved. The goal is to isolate yourself in the cottage, keep to that proper piece of property, and that way you aren't putting a strain on different parts of our rural economy. And specifically, the fact that our healthcare system isn't equipped to deal with a large influx of patients with severe illnesses such as COVID-19, especially in Haliburton. They are nowhere set up for that. And the other issue is this rural community, whether it be Peterborough County, Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes, what have you, is made up of largely seniors, and they are the most vulnerable population.
Your TV continues to reach out to MP Mariam Monsef for comment, but hasn't received a response. We now shift gears to Cobourg and get an update from Mayor John Henderson on the new changes to the town's transit system. But first, the mayor praises the town's citizens on following the health regulations laid out by the province.
Everywhere I've been, walking my dog or just for a breath of fresh air on occasion, I see everybody following those health public regulations. I see everybody being polite. I see everybody going above and beyond, being a little bit patient, more affirming, positive accolades, doing little things in the community. So again, from my perspective, I can't say enough about our citizens. I believe they're taking this to heart. They're following public regulations. They're listening. They're adhering to practices. And for that, our council and from our emergency control group, we're very thankful.
Coming out of that council meeting, John, leading me into my next question is the fact that you've had to make the decision on the recommendation of having to reduce the bus schedule once again. Can you let the residents know what the new changes will be?
Sure, I'll try to read them slowly. And I must say, this is where council has to do a balancing act, because in one sense, we realize it's an essential service to many within our community. And at the same time, we're doing the metric of measuring how many people are riding our transit and trying to find what is the best balance. So based on the reduction of people riding our transit, it's down approximately 50%. So based on that, we're going to try these new times. I'll read them carefully for you with the hope that, again, I want to strike that we're hitting the right balance. So on Route 1, it will operate Monday to Friday from 7:15 to 5:45 p.m., Monday through Friday. Saturday from 8:45 until 3:45. On Route 2, again, Monday through Friday, it will operate 7:15 to 9:45 and 3:30 to 5:45 as well. And then on Saturday, 8:45 to 3:45. The one day we are cutting out is Sunday, and that again is based on metrics. In terms of the Will Transit, it will operate Monday to Friday from 6:45 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Saturday, 8:30 till 4:30 p.m. and again with no service on Sunday. And again, we have the consistent appointments that most people are used to using to call for appointments for Will's Transit. And if they need that number, it's 905-373-0582. And of course, through Public Works, through metrics, and through council, we'll continually monitor this. It may change a number of times. We're hoping not, because we know if we change it too often, we're certainly going to create confusion for our members in the community. And we're not trying to create that at all. Again, we're just trying to find the balance. So this will be up. It's already out as a press release. And I would like to think the hours would be adjusted accordingly for those who are trying to find out, well, what are the hours? I also want to remind citizens that because of COVID-19, we have an 8-person restriction on our regular buses.
From the municipality of Port Hope, Mayor Bob Sanderson says with all the cultural events being canceled due to COVID-19, it's time they start thinking outside the box as to see how they can celebrate such events.
Fair Board, they've canceled the Fall Fair. We have the Heroes Highway Ride coming up. We'll be reviewing that. That probably almost assuredly won't be going ahead. And we're even looking at, Canada Day. And if these things, which are so important from a cultural and community perspective, can't proceed, I really asked our council and even citizens and staff, what can we do to still celebrate? How do we do it? We don't have to just say there's nothing going to happen on Canada Day. I mean, you and I are talking virtually, and I think it's time we started to pick it up and say our staff and our citizens need to have a level of engagement, and a certain celebration, and not be totally shut down on all these. I don't know what that'll look like, but I think we need to put that effort forward. And the amount of innovative and positive progress I've seen within the community and some of our business people and our leaders, it's absolutely amazing. It's forcing people, to think bigger, broader, and it's happening on a global basis. The technology, some of the stuff that's happening. So there's a lot of people really responding well to this.
Certainly a lot of small business people in the communities, Bob, that picking up on your thoughts here, that have learned to survive and flourish during this COVID-19 epidemic. And, they're the ones that are looking at not the regular way of unlocking the door to do your business, searching out the ways that they can stay successful and stay employed and keep employees in the building.
Yeah, for sure. And, there's new businesses cropping up, and I think the chambers, I know the chamber in Port Hope, which I'm very close to and we're part of, Brenda there is doing just a great job of keeping organized. Our MPP is all over it, absolutely keeping us in touch. Our federal MP, same thing. The county, I think, is doing a good job in communications. The municipalities are. And I know also that the 7 municipalities within Northumberland, our senior staff are all talking to each other as well. And our emergency response, as you know, we've not declared an emergency yet. We still feel we have management and control of it. and we will certainly, we look at that every day. But I think our structure, our aggressive nature, we've kept this virus out of Northumberland effectively. Not to say we don't have some people who have been diagnosed, but if you look at municipalities around us and throughout Ontario, we've done a really, really good job, and we've been very aggressive, and we will continue to be so.
I'm sure you look at the numbers every day too, Bob, from the health unit, as I do, and it seems like, I don't know if there's a bubble around us or something, but it seemed to have gone right around us completely in Northumberland.
And I attribute that to the actions that everybody has taken. The emergency response teams in all municipalities are working together, and we've been extremely aggressive. I think we've implemented things before the requirement was there, and I think a tribute to our citizens also. Honestly, there's 75,000 people who are battling to keep this out, and every one of our citizens and ourselves, have to take this seriously, are taking it seriously, and are a soldier in this battle at this point in time. So kudos to virtually everybody, because your comment, I think is right on. But the moment we take our eye off the ball, that will change.
In Ontario, 219 seniors have lost their lives as a result of COVID-19 complications. Ontario Minister of Health Christine Elliot joins James Bowler from Cogeco News in Muskoka to discuss how the province is reacting.
Can you kind of, first of all, just break down how the province is going to be dealing with the long-term care homes now?
Well, we know that there is a problem in our long-term care homes, that there have been a number of outbreaks of COVID-19. This is a very vulnerable population, so we've heard several of the public health experts say that we need to bring an iron band around them. So what we're trying to do is further protect them, to make sure that we test all residents of long-term care homes where there has been an outbreak, and we're also going to conduct some testing in places where there have not been any outbreaks, so that we understand a little bit better about how it does advance. So we want to make sure that we can do more testing. We also want to make sure that we can bring in more people to work in long-term care homes, whether that's from home and community care sector or the hospital sector. We know that they need more assistance, and we need to make sure that we have the best education available for staff on the use of personal protective equipment. They are all now going to be required to wear surgical masks throughout their shifts. So we need to give them some more education on proper use of this, and also proper cleaning and other protocols.
As COVID-19 local impact continues on your TV, we talk with photographer Morgan Bress and Kawartha Lakes Food Source about a recent fundraiser helping the needy within our community. And a reminder, you can find extended versions of our interviews across our social media platforms and our website, yourtv.tv. Welcome back to COVID-19 Local Impact on your TV. I'm Dan Malta. The landfill in Kawartha Lakes will remain closed despite the city of Peterborough opening its landfill earlier this week. Kawartha Lakes Mayor Andy Letham says the municipality will follow provincial direction and not open the landfill. In an effort to deter illegal dumping, the municipality increased their weekly garbage bag limits to 3 bags, but now leaf pickup dates have been added. If your garbage pickup day is a Monday or a Wednesday, there will be a leaf pickup on May 1st. If your garbage pickup day is a Tuesday or a Thursday, there will be a leaf pickup on May 8th. For full information regarding the garbage pickup during the COVID-19 crisis, visit the municipality's website or call 705-324-9411 extension 1118. The fines for illegal dumping can be as much as $5,000. A fundraiser called the Front Step Project just wrapped up, raising more than $3,000 in the process. We spoke with photographer Morgan Bress and Kawartha Lakes Food Source about the efforts.
Morgan Bress, who is a local photographer, reached out to us. She contacted us to see if we were comfortable to have her run a fundraiser on our behalf, which of course we are. We absolutely said yes. She took it upon herself to find a way to make sure that social distancing could still be adhered to. Families in the community who had been shut inside for days on end had something to look forward to. And in the meantime, they were also helping to support those who are in need throughout our community. So it was a really beautiful idea. I mean, we all jumped at it, all of like my colleagues and myself. She had a fantastic idea and she really ran with it. And there were other local photographers, Kim McGee and Crystal Whitehead, who also jumped on the bandwagon and started doing it as well. We're blown away. It was fantastic.
It started in the States, and another photographer that I knew in Boston had started it. And so I kind of thought, hey, that'd be an awesome thing to do here. So I decided to do it in the Kawartha Lakes. I made a blog post and posted on my Facebook page about what I wanted to do. And it took off right away with a lot of families wanting to sign up and participate. Goal was $1,500, and we ended just a little over 3,000.
There was a lot of joy on the faces of people that you captured. What did you personally get out of this experience?
It actually filled my cup a lot in a terrible time. I love shooting, and I couldn't do that anymore. My studio here in town is closed, and I wanted to do something to give back to the community. And the best way I knew how was with my camera. So I love being able to see the different families, people I didn't even know, but that I met during all this. I shot at least 10 feet away from everyone. I'd give them a call saying, hey, I'm on my way, and just to step out onto the porch when you see me pull up. And then I would step out of the car and shoot with a long lens. And I was there for maybe 5 minutes tops, and then off I went to the next family.
Cogeco made a recent donation as well to the Kawartha Lakes Food Source to assist with local needs.
I received an announcement from David Feely today, the executive director over at Cogeco. He told us that, obviously, the Cogeco staff are not able to go out to community events the way that they would have in the past. So that budget that they had set aside, they have decided to funnel towards food banks in their areas. So we are receiving a donation of $1,000, and we're very excited. We're most likely putting it towards milk and eggs, protein, and other nutritionally balanced foods that we can give to our clients. So we're very excited.
On Wednesday, the Community Foundation of Greater Peterborough and United Way Peterborough and District announced they'd be donating $200,000 to frontline agencies providing food and shelter during the COVID-19 pandemic. The 10 agencies receiving funding are Brock Mission, Community Care Peterborough, Community Counseling and Resource Center, Food for Kids, Kawartha Food Share, One City Peterborough, One Roof Community Center, PARN, your Community AIDS Resource Network, Nourish Project, YWCA, and Yes Shelter for Youth and Families. Also today, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau contradicted U.S. President Donald Trump's statement saying the U.S.-Canada border restrictions could soon be loosened, saying it will be a significant amount of time before that happens. That's our show for today. We leave you with images from the Front Step fundraising project from Kawartha Lakes in support of the local food banks. For your TV, I'm Dan Malta.
You and me, we didn't sleep again. We'll be alright, we got all the time in this world, and it feels like it was made for us. Oh.